Guys,
Hi Aditya, hello,
hi,
hi.
hi, Anuj. How's it going?
Very good. A warm welcome to you and congratulations on Om.
Thank you.
Fabulous. Now, Aditya, Om is very special as we get to see you in an avatar like never before. You've learned martial arts, gone through a strenuous fitness regime, and on top of that, you managed to still look fabulous whilst doing all of that. So, what kept you motivated during this whole period? It must have been really tough to maintain, right?
It was pretty tough to maintain. It was tough to get there, and then it's even tougher to maintain. But that's just the gig I signed up for. Yeah, this kind of film and this kind of genre has that kind of requirement. So it was just part of the gig for this one. I was part of the job. Had to get it done. Um, but yeah, it was pretty hardcore all over physically.
Right. Now, your role is of someone who is drawn towards national pride, but it also has a very damaged childhood. So, how emotionally and mentally challenging is it to play a role like this, actually?
I think it is. It was challenging to try and get in the head of someone that kind of puts their life on the line for their country. It's something that you can't possibly fathom unless you actually have done that before, felt that. So that's part of the fun of being an actor, to try and put yourself into another person's shoes and kind of understand that and make sense of it and portray it. So yeah, that was one of the set of challenges.
Mhm.
Apart from obviously the stuff that has happened to this guy in his childhood. But those are things I kind of get off on, and those are the kind of things that I truly enjoy as an actor to try and figure out and make sense of. So yeah, these were a couple of things that required a lot of thought, I guess.
Right. Now, speaking of thought, I've been introspecting a lot actually about the roles that you've done in terms of your career. And I've actually kind of understood that a lot of the roles that you've done, including Om, are those of people who are emotionally scarred or damaged as a particular strand, especially if we look at your films like Ye Jawani Hai Diwani or Malang, for example, or even Ashiki too, for that same matter as well. So, why do you think such roles come along your way? Is it something you proactively search for, or is it just that it just comes naturally?
I think it just comes because I guess the first solo film that found success was Ashiki, where I played a very kind of emotionally damaged person. So
Yeah.
that's what kind of changed things for me, and that's the film that everyone I kind of I was introduced to the industry in that form, in a sense. So yes, I guess filmmakers thought of me in that way and wanted me to do variations, obviously very different variations. And maybe it's something that I have a proclivity for. Maybe something that they feel like, um, you get the kind of roles that you're kind of built for. So maybe, so so maybe this is just one type that are made for. Funny though, emotionally damaged characters, but definitely make them interesting.
Yeah, you definitely add that tadka that definitely needs in order to play that character in a very beautiful way. But I think again, it's wonderful again to sort of look at the trajectory you've had, and you've had success, but you've of course seen failure from a very, very close lens, Aditya. And I think that's something which I always admire. You're almost like an underdog, if I can say. The journey, if I was to coin it, that's how I would describe it. How do you feel professional and personal hardships have developed that fighting spirit within you? And how do you think that perhaps that fighting spirit helped you in a film like Om, actually?
Well, I guess it all unconsciously helps. I think you do. It is a cliche, but you do end up learning a lot more from your failures than from your successes, because you have a lot to think about, introspect about. And an actor's life is kind of unpredictable. You never really know how that Friday is going to go. No one has it down to a science, and if they claim to do, they're lying. So I think I've enjoyed the journey. It, like you said, has had its ups and downs, but I guess that's what makes you who you are, right? And you wouldn't
Mhm.
want to change it for anything.
Right, and as I said before, again, Om is a film like we've never seen you before. And I think it's what we've always wanted to see. And I think Malang gave that slight flavor of you being a bit of an action hero, you know, that kind of a vibe. And I know the quantity of a role is not important, but as you said as well, the ice broke for you in terms of being a lead in Ashiki 2, which was almost a decade ago. My God, I can't believe time has gone
Yeah.
so quick. But do you kind of feel like you're getting your dues now as an actor? Because obviously people are now seeing that onus on you, on playing that, and taking that lead in films. And does the length of a role kind of impact your responsibilities as an artist at all?
I don't know if the length of the role, but yes, some films, if you are kind of front and center and you're shouldering them, then you have the responsibility. That is a responsibility and a welcome responsibility. Um, I don't know about finding your dues is something that it's not something that I look out for. I think everything comes in its own way, in its own time when it has to happen. So I don't lose any sleep over it. For me, I guess the most important thing is just to be able to do everything that the film requires to the best of my ability. So if it is filming, or marketing, these are all responsibilities that you have to take seriously and deliver on as an actor if you want to do films that are kind of dependent on the box office.
Right. I think reflecting back again, because Om has a lot of there's a lot of fresh talents. Of course, Sanjana is in the film. I think the director as well. I think it's a new sort of venture as well. So when it comes to working with fresh talents, and you were once that curly haired Aditya Roy Kapur that everyone fell in love with in London Dreams and Action Replay. In fact, Action Replay and Guzarish, of course, as well. I mean, three lovely films I loved as well, very much when I was growing up seeing those films. So when you sort of work with fresh talent, do you ever see, or kind of does it ever make you feel quite nostalgic when you're working with fresh talent because you were once that new boy on the scene?
Rather than feeling nostalgic, one can kind of see what they are going through and see, because you've kind of been in that place before. So you get a bit of a perspective on maybe what stage they're at, and all the things that you go through as a young actor when you're kind of doing work and you're just starting out. So yeah, it at once makes you feel good and old. So yeah.
I hope I didn't make you feel that by me saying I grew up
No,
watching
not at
it,
all.
by the
Not
way.
at all.
No, but I think it's great, and you know, I would like to think that we're living in a very woke era now, Aditya. You know, I think societal conversations are so much more prominent nowadays, and I think the audience has become a lot wiser. I mean, audience is always smart. I mean, that's for sure. But I feel like now it's a lot more hyper smart, if I can describe it as that. How do you think this will impact the masala style of films? Because they're often considered to be quite larger than life. And, action films like Om, for example, how important is it, especially given the fact that the pandemic has really impacted cinemas? So, how important do you think all these factors are for this genre in particular?
I think what we're seeing more and more of is people want to see visual spectacle in the theaters. Now, with the onset of OTT, I think there's a lot of stuff that people, um, I mean, maybe because of the pandemic, a lot of behavior has also changed. I think a lot of us feel like we have, and we do as consumers, we have the best of both worlds. You can watch what you want in the comfort of your home, or you can go to the theater. So I don't think big spectacle and masala films are going anywhere. I think that's part of the fun of the movies, and I wouldn't want them to go anywhere. I think the audience now, when they go to the cinemas, it seems more and more that they want to see things on a large canvas. They want to see things that deserve to be on the big screen. So I think that's always going to be around.
Did you ever think you would ever be headlining such a major action film? Did you ever imagine yourself back when you began your career?
When I began my career, I really didn't know. I didn't think that far ahead. I was just worried about saying my next dialogue correctly. I was an accidental actor, and I kind of fell into it. And I grew up watching those action films. Even as a kid, I never imagined myself doing those in films. I imagined myself as a really small kid doing it in real life, which thankfully I never did, because that would be a problem.
Right.
Um, but no, I feel like considering I was that big an action film fanatic, I feel happy today that I'm kind of in one of these, because it would have been a travesty if I was an actor and I didn't get to kind of fulfill that whole action kida.
Yeah, I feel like that's something which a lot of actors aspire to have, right? Like they just want to be like that Pata poster Nikla hero type sort of
Who doesn't want to like pick up a gun and like shoot all the bad guys? It's fun. You can't do it in real life, so you like get to do it on screen.
In the real life, it would probably call The Purge, but you know.
Yeah.
But no, absolutely. But you know, I think Aditya, Om, as you know, it's a very sacred symbol in dharmic faiths, and it's a very powerful mantra, actually. So, bearing that in mind, what helps you in maintaining your spirituality, actually?
What helps me maintain my spirituality? I think there isn't any one thing. I think it's just about being thankful, and it's just the attitude you adopt towards life. And if you're thankful for everything that you have in your life, and it's important to keep reminding yourself that you are, fortunate, and you have actually everything that you need, because so many people don't. And if you can keep that attitude, and that just keeps you in a state of mind where you kind of have perspective, no matter where you kind of are on the trajectory.
Right, very, very well said. And I think following Om, you again have a plethora of very intriguing films. Gumrah again that you have. So do you feel comfortable exploring the thriller genre? And how do you think, especially Gumrah, for example, will perhaps showcase a different caliber to you as an actor, like perhaps Om has as well in this film?
I think so, because in Gumrah I'm playing a double role. So that was the first for me as well. I had never done that before, and that comes with its own set of challenges, to say the least. I'm pretty much towards the end of the shoot of that film now, so I can safely say it's been challenging, but a lot of fun for different reasons on Gumrah. I'm excited about that one as well. I think that's more a thriller than an action film. But very, very exciting, and it's been great working with Rana as well.
Right. And how important is it, would you say, on a final note, for an actor to completely reinvent themselves constantly like how you have?
Yeah, I think it's important. I don't think I think about it like I need to every film. I think it's important to also not think only about what you're doing, rather than what the story is you're telling in totality. So while I might be really excited about a role in a film, if I'm not excited about the whole story, that role will not have an impact. So reinventing yourself is all well and good, but I can't do a film just for the sake of that. I have to be kind of invested in the story you're telling, and then if that role has something else to offer, so it's like then that's great.
Right, absolutely. But look, Aditya, I mean, it's always, I think, been on my bucket list actually to chat with you. And I think you really have carved a very special space for yourself where you began in playing very strong roles in big films, but now the fact that you have films which are literally around you, where you are taking the center stage, I think it's absolutely inspiring. And I don't like using the word underrated, and I know a lot of actors hate using that word, but I feel that I'm glad that you're getting this opportunity, and I can't wait to see you enter the screen with guns blazing. No, I think it's going to be fabulous. I cannot wait to watch that.
Thank you so much, Anuj. Thank you very much for your
Wonderful. I'm wishing you all the very best, Aditya. Thank you so much.
Same to you.
Thank you. Thank you.
Bye.
Bye-bye.
Bye.